Good morning. I'm Jackie Arthur. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And I'll be your worship associate today. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. Whether in person or online, we join each other today as one community. Since our services are live streamed and recorded, feel free to move to the last 4 rows, and I'm pointing to the section I'm talking about, 4 rows, if you wish to be our camera-free zone. Here, we strive to nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, create compassionate relationships, and lovingly transform. If you are joining us as a visitor or a guest, we're glad you're here. Please leave your contact information at the foyer, and so we'll be able to have a minister or staff greet you within the coming week and also possibly meet you. In addition, everyone is invited to fill out a card about a personal, significant joy or concern that you would like shared during the service. You may pick up and leave your card at the Joys and Concerns table. As you enter this area, it's to the right before you come into this area. We're glad you're with us today. Please join us for coffee and conversation after the service. I now invite Kathy McNichols to the lectern to introduce our new music director.
Thank you. Put this up here. So, I am very, very excited to introduce our new music director, Catherine Presserin. First, I'm going to share what was in the newsletter in case you didn't get a chance to read it when it popped up in your inbox. Then, I'm going to share what I personally know about her. Don't worry, KP, it's all good. Catherine grew up in Roanoke, Virginia. After graduating from the University of Mary Washington, she decided to stay in Fredericksburg. She has been a music educator and director in the area for over 10 years. First, working as the choral director at A.G. Wright Middle School in Stafford County, and then at Freedom Middle School in Spotsylvania County. After many wonderful concerts, after-school rehearsals, and memories made in the classroom, she wanted a change of pace and to try something new. Catherine began working as a freelance music educator in 2021. She now teaches private voice and piano lessons to students of all ages in the one-on-one setting. She gets to experience the joy of helping people learn and grow as musicians while having a more flexible schedule. When the UUFF music director position opened up, she jumped at the opportunity to once again direct an ensemble and work with a group of people making music together. She loves living in Fredericksburg and enjoying what the city has to offer. She likes to go see live music and performs around town herself whenever possible. I've seen it and it's awesome. She is looking forward to meeting everyone at UUFF and getting started. Personally, I have known Catherine for 10 years. Seems crazy, right? I first met her when she was a student teacher in the chorus department at Freedom Middle School, where I was currently teaching. She was such a bright and fabulous light in her time with us that we knew she would be an amazing choral teacher. Even though she first took a position in Stafford County, I was happily able to continue spending time with her, going to see her band and all kinds of fun stuff, because one of her best friends took a job teaching with me at Freedom, and she kept us connected. When our longtime chorus teacher retired, I was overjoyed. When Catherine returned to Freedom Middle School as our chorus teacher. I was delighted to co-direct Mary Poppins Jr. with her that fall, when we spent a lot of time together. Now I'm lost my place there. Lots of time together. Yes, it was hard work, but with Catherine's music direction, it actually turned out to be a magical experience. During the time we worked together, I remember showing her my choir folder from UU and saying, "Look, we're singing Broadway show tunes and Bohemian Rhapsody. What's not to love?" I loved working with Catherine, and I know what a phenomenal music director she is. When this job opened, I reached out with my fingers crossed that she might be interested. We are so lucky to have her with us at UUFF. Please put your hands together and give her a big welcome. Also, shameless plug, if you like to sing, choir is really fun. So please come join us. Don't worry if you can't read music or you're nervous in front of a crowd. We just hired a middle school music educator. If she can make hormonal middle schoolers sound good, which she did, you don't have a thing to be concerned about. Come give it a try.
Well, that was a stirring information about our new music director, and I'm looking forward to seeing her as well. Chalice lighting. UUs light a chalice as a symbol of the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. Wherever you are, please join me in reading our chalice lighting words. Pretty soon, pretty soon. Patience is a virtue, right? We are all capable in different ways, with various strengths and talents. We are all holy, part of the universe and the interdependent web. We light this chalice, cherishing our differences and holding each other in sacredness. The Covenant of UU Pagans, CUPS, C-U-U-P-S, was chartered by the UUA at the General Assembly in 1987 for purposes of enabling networking among pagan-identified UUers, providing outreach of Unitarian Universalism to the broader pagan community, promoting pagan, Jewish, and Christian dialogue, encouraging greater use of music, dance, visual arts, poetry, story, and creative ritual in UU worship and celebration, and fostering healing relationships with our Mother, the Earth, and all her children. I'm introducing Jen Austin, will be our speaker. Jen has been a Unitarian Universalist and part of our congregation since 2015, and a pagan since they were 18 years old. Starting out in paganism, Jen first practiced Shregaria, which is a she discovered Druidism in 2001 with R-on Riat Fan, which is ADF, a modern tradition of pagan Drury. They have since identified as a pagan and a Druid in religion and spirituality, and an occasional practitioner of worship as it is known in modern times. Welcome, Jen.
Good morning. My name is Jen Austin, and my pronouns are they, them. And I'm here today to talk about the CUPS group. Myself and many others have been forming here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about how I became involved helping to start a CUPS group here. It goes way back to when I first visited our UU, around the time I first started attending services at our fellowship. I learned that there was something called CUPS. At the time, I was very involved with a Druid polytheistic pagan group. I was running rituals, going to festivals, study groups, and other events. There were about 3 or 4 of these particular Druid groups in the state of Virginia. At the same time, I started attending 1 or 2 services at our UU when we were over on Plank Road, so that my son could have a more varied spiritual experience in the RE program. I had heard of CUPS groups at other UU congregations, but with my time volunteering in Druidry, I didn't do much at this UU to find out more about CUPS, putting it on the back burner and putting it off and thinking I'd look into it later. Then, as many of us experience, life happened. I finished my graduate work and went through a divorce and a move, and I didn't have as much time for volunteering in my Druid community. By then, there were only one or two of these Druid groups in the state of Virginia, and one of them I was running on my own. I started attending our fellowship on a regular basis, and here I found another spiritual family and made many friends. As I started putting my life back together, I got remarried, made it through the pandemic, had a baby, and regained more time with my son. I wanted to give back to my spiritual community again. I looked into Druidry, but there were no longer any of the previous Druid groups in Virginia that I had been involved with. I volunteered more here at our fellowship and would have joined a CUPS group, but by that time, there wasn't one at this fellowship anymore, though I've heard there used to be one. I had some Druid rituals at my home with a few close friends and family during the pandemic and started studying Druidry again, but it wasn't the same as the fellowship of learning and sharing about the gods, the ancestors, and the nature surrounding us while sitting by a fire and sharing food and conversation and music. And that was what I missed so much from my past experiences in the pagan community. In 2022, Reverend Doug McCusker told me that someone had been having Druidry rituals right here at our fellowship and had had one right at our fire pit the previous winter. I got in touch with them and started volunteering again, hosting rituals and planning sessions for rituals right here at our UU. I was determined to celebrate all 8 of the pagan high days that many other earth-centered folks celebrate, and wanted to help create a space for others who wanted to celebrate them too. The group we have been forming has been working hard and eagerly, sharing their knowledge and time to make it what it has become. And I'm here to share with you that what we've done so far and what we hope to do moving forward. As of the Lunasol ritual that will be held here tonight, I am proud to announce that we have consistently had a ritual for every high day or Sabbath for the past 2 years. For those, yes, it's exciting. For those who don't know, gotta skip a part. Our primary goal is to become an official CUPS group associated with the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. We have more than 3 people who are members of our fellowship and the greater CUPS organization, and we are working on writing a covenant between our group and the congregation, and we will be proposing the forming of this group at the next Board of Trustees meeting this Thursday. Once we have all of these things lined up and submit the paperwork, then we should be official. One of our goals for the CUPS group will be to continue to hold rituals 8 times per year. These celebrations have different names depending on the Earth-centered tradition, the pagan tradition they are related to. Some people call them high days, Sabbats, quarters, and cross quarters, and they divide the year equally based on the turning of Mother Nature's wheel of the year. They occur approximately on February 1st, March 21st, May 1st, June 21st, August 1st, which is what we'll be celebrating tonight, September 21st, October 31st, and December 21st. Give or take a day or two based on astronomical seasons. We will also have a planning session for each ritual 1 week prior. Since sometimes these dates fall midweek, we will have them Friday or the weekend evenings that fall closest to those dates, and it will not always be on the same day of the week, so that all folks have the opportunity to attend when it fits their schedule. If you have not heard or attended any of these yet, they had been held consistently on every single Sunday. It's not always the best timing for everyone, so we have scheduled some on Friday evenings and Saturday evenings throughout the year. We also want to offer a regular meeting time to talk about topics related to paganism and earth-centered traditions, philosophies, historical studies, book talks, and more. Beginning this September 13th, Friday the 13th, we will be meeting here at the Kurt Vonnegut High School room, also known as the Couch Room, every second Friday of the month from 6 to 8 p.m. You can find more information about our events in the UU and U newsletter and on our Facebook page, Fredericksburg CUPS Interest Group, where you can find additional meetups that some of our members of our group have volunteered to host locally. There's been a need for a group like this in Fredericksburg area for some time. I've connected with the folks who are now in our group. I've connected with folks at local pagan meetups. I've even run into people at Pride Fest this summer, and here at our own fellowship. There are approximately 7 metaphysical stores in the Fredericksburg area, and where you can find crystals, herbs, books, and statues for the worship of earth-centered traditions, you can find practitioners. Many folks of these traditions have met to worship and gather at other locations, coffee shops, libraries, parks, and places such as Wegmans that are available to the general public. Unfortunately, many folks seeking this kind of group are risking harassment and discrimination in their workplace, family, or community if they're to be found out how they live their spiritual lives. Places such as parks and coffee shops may come at a monetary price or the price of privacy and even safety. When folk meet in their homes, they aren't always able or willing to share the space with families with children. Sometimes they simply may not have the room to accommodate as many people who are interested in coming. Too often, groups start up and then disappear as life happens to everyone. As I'm sure many of us here know at the UU, no one person, or even 2 or 3, can continue to shoulder the load of a volunteer group for long without burnout. We want to keep the momentum of building community going so that we have a place to share fellowship beside everyone here at our UU. With more people joining a CUPS group here, we will also have more people joining our greater fellowship, and everyone will benefit from the growth of our congregation. So far, I've shared my own story and what this group means to me. Some of the folk who have attended our rituals and meetups have given feedback I'd like to share with you today, too. One friend who has been attending our rituals on a regular basis has said, "I was honored with the teachings of the Akalaya people of Mesoamerica by Miyama. I do not practice that in open groups, but I am glad that there are people who I know I can be safe around as I offer my silent homages to the ones who protect me. I primarily call myself a druid with a smattering of other neutral deities that are willing to work with me. This place where we can worship together is essential to my well-being." Another member of our congregation says, "CUPS means a lot to me. When I was 18 years old, I wrote a message on the Witchbox forum saying that I was a solitary pagan who was looking for a community. A man named Lonnie replied to my message and invited me to the CUPS group at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Charlottesville, Virginia. That CUPS group was named Nature Spirit, and I became very involved in that group, and that was my very first connection with the pagan community. I have since become very much part of the pagan community all over the world through the internet and in person here in Fredericksburg and in Charlottesville and throughout the state. Being part of the pagan community has been so incredibly important to me, and that's how I've made my friends. It's been the best way for me. I was the president of Nature Spirit at the University of Virginia when we started a college chapter, an offshoot of that CUPS group, and supervised by them. Also, the CUPS group was my introduction to Unitarian Universalism. I went to the CUPS meetings regularly and wasn't going to UU services at that time and wasn't doing anything else at the UU church in Charlottesville, but I was going to the meetings regularly. That's how I became part of Unitarian Universalism. I'm so happy that we're starting a CUPS chapter now. It feels like a big cycle, a rebirth moment for me because I was doing Nature Spirit right before I got married, and now I'm starting a CUPS group. I reconnected with Lonnie after not being in touch for a while, and he's been incredibly supportive of me and an amazing friend. I've been involved in the Fredericksburg pagan community ever since I moved here, and I've seen people from different covens move away or pass away, and things shift and change within the local pagan community. And it's a wonderful time to have our little group starting. It's such a great space for people like us to get together. The rituals that we have been doing really changed my life over the past year. It's also why I became a member of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg, because I attended the Samhain ritual and I attended a UU service that was sort of pagan themed, and because of those experiences about 2 years ago, then decided to become a member of our fellowship. It's also great that our cups rituals are family friendly and my daughter gets to play with other children and the kids have a good time, and that's wonderful and rare within paganism. Wendy Vonderpool says, I am excited to be getting a local cups chapter for a few reasons. There has been an absence of an inclusive, non-judgmental, safe space to attend seasonal rituals locally for a long time. Most have been at private homes or cost money to attend, so the ones the interest group has been hosting have been a game changer. Having a community space to exist openly without hiding in a place that we can speak loudly and proudly with no fear is paramount to the growth of the local pagan community. Selfishly, it gives me a repeating excuse to be in the same place at the same time as several of my friends. It is, as far as I know, the only local pagan group where children are welcome to join and therefore able to grow up knowing a bit about how we celebrate the wheel of the year together. A new member of our group who's coming from a UU in South Carolina, I believe, says, I wish Fredericksburg Cups a long, healthy life of learning, spiritual care, a strong foundation in love. As a Cups veteran, I wish you to have a strong foundation in fairness, love, and respect for each member and be balanced. Ashley has said, to me, it's a safe place to commune with other pagans and learn about other earth-based faiths and practices. I haven't always had that. Plus, it's really cool to be able to provide ritual space for others to fill their spiritual cup. Another member on our Facebook group has said, this is a very exciting time for Fredericksburg pagans. Cups can be a unifying force for networking among pagan-identified UUs for Virginia's surrounding communities, as well as providing a safe space for young families and single parents looking for a nature-based group affiliated with a church. Back in the day, my UU church and Cups helped me as a single mom to blend my beliefs with an established American religion and provided me with a solid answer for when I was asked whether my child was going to church or not. I know that this chapter in Fredericksburg will provide a much-needed venue for this vibrant pagan community. These comments from members of our fellowship, members of the forming Cups group, and the local pagan community are only a small representation of the many people who have already attended our functions and benefited from our group. I want to take a moment to thank the folks who were able to share their experiences with me so that I could share them with you. Our hope to form an official Cups group and a covenant with this congregation to continue offering the services we have been creating and providing, rituals and worship services, accessible meetups for furthering our free and responsible search for truth and meaning, to continue and support the greater congregations, being an LGBTQ welcoming congregation, a safe place for pagans to worship, socialize and network, and provide a space where UUs can come learn more about Earth-centered traditions and pagans can learn more about Unitarian Universalism. Before I close, I would like to tell you more about the holiday we will be celebrating here tonight for the cross quarter between midsummer and the autumn equinox, called Lughnasadh or Lammas. The dictionary says that the meaning of Lammas is the first day of August, formerly observed in Britain as a harvest festival, during which bread baked from the first crop of wheat was blessed. A more in-depth description from the website druidry.org says, the name of this festival as Lughnasadh is Irish Gaelic for commemoration of Lugh. Some authors give the meaning as marriage, gathering, or feast in the name of Lugh. The meaning remains basically the same. Lugh is the deity of Lughnasadh, and there is a feast. Lughnasadh is a time when food is beginning to be harvested. Even locally, the crops are coming in. There is more fresh corn in the farmer's market. If you go east through Spotsylvania County, the corn is high, and very soon the tractors will be mowing down the stalks. If you go west into King George, you will see the same. The oppressive heat of August will soon give way to cool, crisp mornings in September, and within the next few weeks, children will be returning to school and learning. The wheel of the year is turning from summer to fall, As we celebrate Lunasol this evening, we are reaping what we have sown in the spring and enjoying the first fruits of our labor, both literally and figuratively. So you are welcome to join us in our celebration of Lunasol this evening at 6:30 p.m. here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg, out at the fire pit or the main hall, weather permitting. I want to thank you all for sharing this time and space with me today. I hope many of you are looking forward to a CUPS group, what a CUPS group can do in our fellowship and in our community as much as I am.
And now we'll take any information that you wish share, questions that you have. And we have a person. Oh,
And I'm sorry, I'm going to have Ashley help me answer questions in case there's anything I can't answer. We'll both go back and forth.
Since you're an Earth-centered organization, is global warming going to change any of the dates of the the celebrations? Because autumn is probably going to last until the beginning of December or something.
We go by the astronomical wheel of the year, so we go by the technical dates for literally the calendar. Our Gregorian current calendar is divided up into 8 sections for the wheel of the year. I do agree that the weather and the climate and everything is going to change with those dates. For me, it gives us more reason to reflect and talk about what we can do to help the environment, because the earth is our mother, and part of a lot of these pagan and earth-centered traditions is that we deeply revere the earth and do whatever we can to work towards healing her and not harming her. So the impacts of that are real, and we do consider that and think deeply on it.
that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering about the language, the terms that you have for the high holidays and whatnot. Is the language that you hear, is it an offshoot of Celtic, Gaelic? Do you know the history of the language?
So some of them are what you just said, Celtic and Gaelic, and some of it is also Nordic. So it's based off of the neo-pagan movement, which kind of mashed all of those together. But when some holidays combine, like Yule, which is a Nordic holiday, that's also Saturnalia. So we'll also call it by that. It's also called Christmas. So we acknowledge that when we do the rituals as well. So we'll go by, like, hey, we know it's this other name, or we know this other practice celebrates something similar. So it's a chance to learn more.
Yeah. Also, I would say that based on the makeup of our group, if some people are more interested in learning more about Saturnalia, if more people are interested in learning more about one winter tradition as opposed to another, then we may gear the coming ritual more towards that. And that's an important part of our planning sessions a week before each ritual, so that we have time to get together and bring our resources together. We literally sit down with websites and books and decide what information we can combine into each ritual. So, excellent question. Thank you.
I'd like to really congratulate you on what you've accomplished so far and going forward. many years ago in pre-COVID times, I remember talking to a woman who used to be a member here, and has since moved away, but I was trying to talk her into coming to a discussion we were going to have one Sunday regarding paganism and earth-centered religions. And she said, no, thank you. She said, I will never go to one of those. And I said, how is that in line with being a UU? You know, being open and willing to hear about other people's beliefs. And she just simply said, I don't want to know. And that broke my heart because, you know, we're so willing to learn about everyone else's faiths. There's so much stigma still surrounding paganism in so many ways. And I am thrilled to see you guys breaking down the walls. Good luck.
Thank you.
I really want to thank you for getting back into the cups here at the UU, because also you could get more involved with the minister and the new music director, and we could do more.
I'm sorry, I don't want to hog. We've run into my neighbor and whatnot about the same attitude, the negativity, that there's this old hang up about pagan. And one thing I was thinking about, and I don't know if anybody else thinks about it, you know, my neighbor was like saying, wait a minute, it's not Christian.
Not this neighbor.
No, not this neighbor. Another neighbor. This neighbor's okay. But so we were trying to think about how to put this for other people who are struggling with this. And in my mind, I thought, okay, wait a minute, folks. Next time we run into this in a nice, respectful way, we want to say, or I want to say, before Christ was even born, there's 5,000 years of Chinese culture. There's 5,000 years of African culture. We came out of Africa, and that's kind of where the cultural thing started. And at that point, people all around the world, and this is the wonderful thing about being human, as we developed as human beings, we would look up into the sky at night and think, oh my God, northern lights. Oh my God, beautiful trees. Oh my God, things to eat. The rivers give us food. And it's that, the fact that human beings throughout history for thousands and thousands of years have had this thing within them that comes up and has to be expressed in gratitude. And the early days, it was gratitude of the things that gave us life, like the things in the earth. And before there were even, you know, the Buddha, and Jesus, and Muhammad. And so maybe that's a way that people who have been brought up with a more traditional religion can think about it and say, oh, okay, you know, if you can think of yourself way, way back then, before there was organized religions, it was another way of expressing gratitude for life. And, you know, just a suggestion.
We have a member that comes to our rituals who would talk your ear off on ancient religions, specifically in the Levant region. She literally is a specialist in the area. She might.
She may be here tonight, yeah.
Yeah. Just learning. She knows a lot.
I could also talk your ear off about it too. That's why I enjoyed Druidry so much. And one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this, one of the many reasons I'm looking forward to this group restarting, is the regular monthly meetings, because we'll have an opportunity to, as a group, choose a topic to discuss. And I am sure that a lot of those topics will either be directly or indirectly related to the history behind all of the different traditions. Yeah. So, and everyone is welcome to come to those too. It doesn't matter if you identify as this religious belief or not. You're welcome to come and learn and ask questions.
I was just going to say, I have born-again in-laws, as some of you have heard me say before. And I'm always struck, of course, Easter is their major celebration of Christ and the resurrection. And I always want to point out that every single symbol of Easter that you can think of is pagan. Every single one. Flowers, eggs, fertility.
Even the name.
Even the name, yes, even the name. So I just think that's fascinating.
Our winter holidays as well, too.
When you give to the UUFF, you help us to nurture learning, our spiritual insights, and lovingly transform our community and the world. Greeters will be coming around with baskets, or you may donate via the text message on our screen. The Share the Plate for today will go to the minister's discretionary fund. This fund enables our minister to lead immediate, short-term assistance to people in the fellowship and the community in need. We will be sharing our written joys and concerns after the offering, but while the offertory music is being played, please feel free to place a pebble in the bowl for any joys and concerns which you're holding privately in your heart. Our offertory will now be gratefully received. Offertory music.
As I walk upon this green land, this land that I love, I see figures of chalk carved into the hillsides above. Cern Abbas of man so proud, and the long man opens wide the gates of his world and invites you to step inside. And the hills, they are hollow and home to the fae who dance on Midsummer's Eve. Some people don't understand when I say these are the things I believe. These are the things I believe. There is an old circle of stone that stands on the moor. Every moss-covered face tells the secrets of ancient lore. The tall stand as guardian, witnesses to the rights to nature's gods of dark.
And she, her, and hers are my personal pronouns, and I'm on the pastoral care team as well. And we have some joys and concerns I'd like to share with you today. Two individuals have a joy and a concern each, so I will start the process. Jay Hatton, a joy. Congratulations to the summer school graduates. I'm proud of them. And also a concern. Kate Wilkinson passed from lymphoma on July 27th, and her funeral was August 20th. Keep her family and the Garfield High School family in your thoughts. Christy has a concern and a joy. Some of you already know, but in February, my husband, Will, left me. He has moved to Arizona. Some days I'm still in shock because I had no idea that he was unhappy. Other days I'm fine. Hugs are welcome. And Kathy McNichols has a joy. Bob and I, it's her husband, are so proud and happy that our daughter Austin is currently making her way across country to California to start law school at UC Berkeley. It is said that a joy shared in a loving community is doubled, and that a concern in a beloved community is halved. And I have just completed reading these, and that's something for you to keep in mind. Once again, I'm going to repeat it because I think it really needs to be honed in. It is said that a joy shared in a loving community is doubled, and that a concern shared in a beloved community is halved. Let's take a few moments to be present with all the concerns and joys, spoken and unspoken, in our community. The closing song, and extinguishing the chalice.
While the year is waning, and all about you the bare fingers plead and reach towards the sky. My crown of thorns about my head, when the dark is rising, and from the shadows walks the gone. I see a hope for brand new life. Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing now? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing? Luna Sa, it's the life and the death of the conking. Luna Sa, life and rebirth of the conking. Luna Sa, it's the life and the death of the conking. Luna Sa, life and rebirth of the conking. I turn my green face to the sun while the year is waxing, and all about animals call my name in forest and in sky. My horns of velvet reflect the moon, silver wheel of my lady. She comes towards me as the May reveals her white and virgin skin. Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing now? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear the spirit of the earth? Can you hear them call? Can you hear them sing? Luna Sa, it's the life and the death of the conking. Luna Sa, life and rebirth of the conking. Luna Sa, it's the life and the death of the conking. Luna Sa, life and rebirth of the conking. gold face.
We are going to have extinguishing the chalice now. It will come up shortly, I'm sure, if we haven't already memorized it. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of love and service. May it be a catalyst for spiritual growth and social justice as we carry it outside these walls until we are together again. Go in peace, serve the world, return again in love.